999 9999.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
First at 5, we're learning a man found tied up in the basement of his Jackson home died from blunt force trauma. His death initially ruled suspicious, now a murder investigation. 61-year-old Eldon Ledford was found back in November after a neighbor noticed the smell coming from the home and called for a well-being check. A neighbor told authorities they had not seen or heard anyone in the house for a few weeks. When investigators went inside, they found the home ransacked. Now the Aiken County Sheriff's Office continues this investigation as deputies search for a killer.
1 month ago today, daily COVID cases in the U.S. hit a pandemic high at 800,000 new cases in just a single day. This past Sunday, that daily average fell to 175,000 new cases.
We're also seeing those trends here in our local hospitals. Check out this graph. It represents hospitalized patients from the beginning of the year all the way through today. Green is University Hospital, blue is AU Health, red is for Doctors Hospital. And you can see the number of COVID patients peaking between mid to late January. And now cases are on that downward slide that we've been seeing for the last week or so. Claire Allen joins us live outside AU Health with what local doctors are saying about the state of COVID now. Claire.
Doctors say not only have cases decreased, but also hospitalizations have decreased also. Doctors tell me COVID deaths are also plateauing, but they expect those numbers to go down soon too. Still, they want people to remember COVID is out there, though a new antibody treatment is providing hope. It can shorten the number of days with symptoms and prevent people going to the hospital altogether. Medical experts say the pandemic has not ended yet, but we are heading into the right direction with more knowledge and tools to fight COVID-19.
Omicron's going away, and this new monoclonal has activity against Omicron. Good activity. But what about the next variant?
So how exactly are they preparing to fight the next variant? I will have that story later on at 6.
All right, thanks for that, Claire. Meanwhile, there is a new antibody treatment to fight the Omicron variant. The FDA authorized the new treatment Friday, clearing the drug for adults and adolescents with mild to moderate cases. Eli Lilly announced work on the treatment late last year after testing revealed its previous antibody therapy was ineffective against the dominant Omicron variant.
Much more news ahead, but to weather now as we give you a live look at Wheeler Road and check in with First Alert's Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. Riley, looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, beautiful afternoon again for us. Generally sunny skies for the most part. We do have some contrails in the sky, so good atmospheric ingredients to see. These form behind planes this afternoon. You may see these out in the sky. Also, a couple of burns out there this afternoon. Haven't really changed our burning weather all too much. Still on the high fire danger side for most of our area with very dry air in place. Dew points still in the 20s, but high temperatures this afternoon reaching the mid-60s. Very comfortable outside across most of the area. A little bit cooler north of town, 58 in Edgefield, 59 right now in Washington. Any evening plans, our temperatures are expected to stay in the 50s and 40s, and most likely going to stay near 40 degrees for an overnight low tonight. So continuing that warming trend that will continue at least through Friday for us. Evening weather looking good, mostly clear skies. Temperatures will be getting chilly late tonight and early tomorrow as we do track a cold front that will be bringing us some rain chances most likely by Thursday night. But for your Wednesday, we do look mostly dry tomorrow. Just going to start to notice a few more clouds throughout the day Wednesday, but another warm afternoon. High temperatures hitting the 70s tomorrow. We'll have a look at your Thursday rain chances in just about 10 minutes.
Riley, thanks a lot. Students and teachers at Burke County High School mourning a 16-year-old who lost his life in a motorcycle accident. 16-year-old Gavin James died after a crash last Thursday on Farmers Bridge Road. The school is sending heartfelt sympathy and prayers to his family, friends, and loved ones and his classmates. He'll be buried beside his mother in the Pleasant Grove Baptist Church Cemetery.
Families of some of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting victims have reached a settlement with a gun maker nearly a decade after the massacre. As Nikki Batiste reports, it's more than double what Remington Arms initially offered.
Today is about what is right and what is wrong. Families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting gathered in Trumbull, Connecticut Tuesday, agreeing to a $73 million settlement with Remington, the maker of a Bushmaster AR-15 style rifle used in the 2012 massacre.
Today is a day of accountability for an industry that has thus far enjoyed operating with immunity and impunity. And for this, I am grateful.
The family sued and spent years in court trying to work around a law protecting gun makers from most civil suits.
We kept hearing it was impossible, an unwinnable case, that firearm manufacturers were immune.
Lawyers centered their case around how the rifle was marketed, alleging the company targeted younger at-risk males with product placement in violent video games and ads like its so-called man card campaign. Remington argued there was no evidence connecting its marketing with the 2012 massacre. The settlement will be paid out through insurance, and Remington Arms also agreed to make public all the discovery and deposition material.
It allows these families the rights to share the information as to what they learned.
The families hope this leads to greater accountability in the gun manufacturing industry. Now bankrupt Remington has not commented on the settlement. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Trumbull, Connecticut.
Remington offered a $33 million settlement last summer, but it involved only 2 of its 4 insurance companies and no documents. Police department has a new police chief. Mayor Gary Jones says Jamie Kitchens has been named the chief of police. Kitchens served as the department's interim chief for the past 120 days, and Jones says he has proven himself to be best fit for that position.
Happening this evening, Aiken Technical College partnering with SCETV, hosting a Black History Month film screening. And tonight's film is American Experience, The Blinding of Isaac Woodward. It's at the college's amphitheater. It opens at 6 this evening. The event actually gets underway at 6:30. This is a free event. They just ask you that you reserve a ticket online. Those sponsoring the movie say it's just a way to see how one local person impacted the nation.
And because of what had happened with him and the support he received, because people were encouraged to speak up or able to speak up, we saw from our local area national change be effective so far as civil rights.
Isaac Woodward was from South Carolina, attacked by a police officer when he was returning home from serving in World War II. After the attack, he was left completely blind.
Well, we are seeing dry the rest of today, but rain chances going up, especially by Thursday night and early Friday, all thanks to this system out west. Have a look at those rain chances next.
And also ahead, the first of its kind race at the Olympics. And Team USA is coming out on top. We're going to hear from one of the winners and get an update on the medal count. All ahead next, first to 5. Germany with 8 gold medals. Then here we are, the U.S. with 7. We've got 5 more days of games to go. So tune in tonight, 7:30 for Ozone, our all-Olympic show, to see the highlights for the day before live coverage kicks in on NBC 26 at 8 tonight.
Lots of fun stuff to talk about with that. But first, let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. Riley, a cold one out there this morning.
It really was. We did see temps get back down into the 20s for places like Bushfield. So another morning below freezing. This afternoon, we did warm up a little bit. Mid-60s currently for us here in Augusta. In many spots, at least hitting 60 degrees this afternoon. Generally bluebird skies, but we do have a very cold atmosphere above the surface. So that does create contrails wherever those those planes are flying overhead. That is creating that in the sky. Other than that, generally clear, and we'll hang on to generally clear skies the rest of this evening into tonight as well. Once again, we're at 64 here in Augusta. Those winds have started to turn more out of the east and turning more southeasterly as we head into our Wednesday. Now, today is technically the 15th. I forgot to talk about this yesterday, but we actually hit the 8-year anniversary of a 4.1 magnitude earthquake that occurred in Edgefield County, South Carolina. This happened actually right after the big ice storm that we saw in 2014. It was actually felt as far away as Columbus, Georgia, and all the way up to Danville, Virginia. And then there was a second quake that happened on February 16th, just 2 days after that. That was a 3.2 magnitude. And you can see the map, the intensity of it. This was just about 12 miles west of downtown Edgefield, but this map is just showing you everywhere that it was felt. So once again, expanded all the way to Virginia and portions of southwestern Georgia as well. So 8 years ago for that. Our weather stays pretty quiet the rest of tonight and on Wednesday as high pressure hangs around the region. We're going to be keeping an eye on this system well out west of us. That's what's going to show up by Thursday and most likely bring up our rain chances by Thursday night. Here's a jump ahead to tomorrow afternoon. Not ruling out that there is a stray, very light shower tomorrow. Overall, nothing really measurable. Could you see a raindrop on your windshield at some point during the day Wednesday? Absolutely, but it's not going to be anything that ruins your day. We do stay mostly dry tomorrow and high temperatures most likely hitting the low 70s later to the day. On Thursday, we start to bring back more clouds. It's also getting very breezy on Thursday ahead of this cold front. That cold front will finally bring us a line of showers to time out, most likely after midnight. So technically speaking, early Friday morning is when the majority of that rainfall should arrive. The Storm Prediction Center has included us in a marginal risk for severe storms. Remember, a marginal risk is a very low threat. If anything were to form, it would be very isolated, not widespread. The main concern would just be some strong wind gusts with those thunderstorms late Thursday into early Friday. The Weather Prediction Center has us in a very low marginal risk for possibly some flash flooding. That would be for that same time frame as well. But the marginal flood risk, once again, isolated, not really anticipating a lot of flood reports, but just would be those trouble areas, low-lying areas, poor drainage spots. That's where we could have some minor issues with this heavy rainfall moving in. And that would favor mainly our northern and western counties to where we possibly could get up to an inch in those areas, most likely between a quarter to a half inch for us here in Augusta and south of I-20. Here's a look at that timeline for the storms to show up late Thursday night into early Friday morning. So 11 p.m. Thursday starts to show up for our northern and western counties. For us here in Augusta, timing out for mainly between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. early Friday. So most of this rain's actually timed out to move in where a lot of us are asleep and after we head to bed Thursday night. Some of that rain will linger early Friday morning, but most of the day Friday does look dry as well, and then nice and dry for the weekend with temperatures seasonal, highs in the 60s.
All right, thank you, Riley. A law meant to protect consumers from dangerous products puts power into the hands of companies. Watch Investigate TV's Defective just ahead on First at 5.
Toyota, let's go places.
This is huge. Weinberger's Furniture and Mattress Showcase is turning 90 this year.
And that's a big deal. We've been serving generations of families just like yours with great products and even better service.
To celebrate, we are offering guaranteed lowest prices to all of our customers, special financing options, and plenty of in-stock furniture, rugs, and accessories. Can you celebrate 90 years with Weinberger's?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Those look really nice.
As low as $59.95.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because as a fiduciary, it's our responsibility to always put clients first.
So you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. We help clients enjoy a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility.
One that we don't take lightly. It's why our fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. Fisher Investments is clearly different.
Our first alert commitment to you is now 5 meteorologists, all the tools, the latest technology, and the largest team of 5 meteorologists. News 12, NBC 26 First Alert Weather on your side.
In 9 seconds.
All night.
You hear us talk about important recalls of potentially dangerous products, but what if we told you it's often the company, not the government, controlling when that warning is even issued? That's exactly what our National Investigative Team uncovered, a protective provision for companies tucked into a law meant to keep consumers safe. Here's Lee Zurich with Detective.
So as a grandmother, I panicked until I screamed out, no.
Jan Hinson found her 7-week-old grandson blue and lifeless, his tiny head flipped to the side.
And as I lifted him and his legs were just dangling straight down and his arms were dangling and his head was flopped all the way over, I thought, he's dead.
While babysitting, Hinson placed Asher Goodrich into a rock and play, an inclined sleeper made by Fisher Price, marketed to help fussy or colicky babies.
Something is not right. Something's not right. No baby should be positioned like I just found him.
Little did Hinson know in 2014, as Asher was rushed to the hospital, Fisher-Price and the federal government had reports of babies who stopped breathing while in the sleeper, and some had died.
That information was kept from the public.
According to a 2019 government study on inclined sleepers that affirmed the dangers, the reason babies can be injured or die is muscles aren't developed enough to self-correct if they roll or get into another position where their airflow is cut off, and they can suffocate. Congress created the Consumer Product Safety Commission in 1972. The name sounds like it's there to protect consumers.
However, it's been built up over the years and has different regulations that often prevent that and do often put the manufacturer's interests ahead of consumers.
The reason why, a provision in the federal consumer law known as Section 6B that puts the power into the hands of manufacturers and not the federal government. The law, written by Congress, requires the Consumer Product Safety Commission to get permission from companies before they reveal any negative information about their product. After media reports tying Rock and Play to about 30 infant deaths, Fisher-Price announced a voluntary recall of the product in 2019, 5 years after Jan Hinson's grandson nearly lost his life.
That is just not the way to do it. It's all backwards.
Last year, Fisher-Price publicly admitted that it was aware of 97 deaths. The CEO of its parent company, Mattel, said parents had not used the Rock and Play correctly.
By the time we decided to recall the product, it became apparent that there is a pattern of use where, based on the data that we collected, that the product was not used in accordance with the instructions and warnings.
Jan Hinson's grandson spent days in the hospital and survived. He's now in elementary school. While he's fortunate, Hinson believes their scary ordeal could have been prevented if the CPSC acted sooner and the Rock and Play was recalled in 2012 when the first death was reported.
It's going to happen again. It's just a matter of time.
The family of Asher Goodrich sued Fisher-Price for failing to warn consumers, but their case was dismissed before the recall. A Georgia judge said they lacked expert testimony showing the product design was defective or that it was the immediate cause of injury.
Grant me hope. Grant me hope. Finding every foster child their forever home.
We continue our partnership with Grant Me Hope today by introducing you to a teenager from Georgia. Alex is a 16-year-old looking to become a police officer and loves to be around people. He's looking for a family who can give him support, encouragement, and most importantly, love.
My name is Alex. I'm 16 years old. I'm funny. I like helping people. I like hanging out. I like going out and eat, talking. I have 6 siblings. I love football, basketball. I love math. And I've been living in foster care for almost 4 years. Yeah, I'm on a high school football team, and I'm a linebacker. I have my small group of friends. I know a lot of people since I played football, but I try to stay to a small group because big group you kind of get more involved with bad people and bad people get people in trouble. So I try to stay in a small group of friends. I'll be a police officer because I always grew up helping other people, and police officers are out there to help, and I want to be out there to help. I love any kind of music. I like music because it tells a story behind it. People need a family to understand what life is about. When you have someone to talk to or that can help you when you go through sad things, that also helps you through life. I just want somebody to understand me and not judge what I do, because some people have different problems than others. My name's Alex, and I'm looking for a forever home.
Grant Me Hope, because every child deserves a loving home.
If you want to learn more about Alex, you can head to our website, wrdw.com. You can also check out our app for more ways to help kids just like him through our partnership with Grant Me Hope.
Well, we did see a good bit of sun.
They get better when you call my dad.
Well, pretty much everybody is at least hitting the 60s this afternoon. It will be a relatively more mild evening, temps staying in the 50s a few hours past sunset, and then eventually we are going to see low temperatures drop to the upper 30s and low 40s by early tomorrow morning. It is going to be another warm Wednesday, temperatures reaching the low 70s into the afternoon, mostly dry, but definitely starting to notice a few more clouds throughout the day on Wednesday. Rain chances this week are looking highest mainly Thursday night and early Friday, but mostly dry for the weekend.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. An investigation into two Waynesboro officers is complete after a mom filed a complaint saying they nearly let her daughter get kidnapped. That's ahead on First at 5.
Join us